Absolutely. Well, good morning, everyone. Ryan with the Barbell Spin, and I have Aimee Anaya Everett, the new coach of HWPO Lift. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing so well this morning. It's been a busy morning already, and it's only 10 a.m. my time.
I know you. It's been so busy. You crashed the app this when everybody logged in to start lifting.
Apparently, yeah, that is what I was told this morning, that I crashed the app.
That means there's a lot of people interested in what you guys have going on there.
Yeah,
So
HWPO is the place to be.
Sounds like it for sure. What's the reception been ever since it was kind of announced that you'd be leading up the Lyft program?
Oh my gosh, it has just been it's all been positive. I mean, there might be negative stuff there on the internet, but I try to not look for that, and I haven't been sent any of it. So it's been such a positive welcome. And, at events that we've been at the last few months, like, from the CrossFit Games to Can West, and then most recently Rogue, I've just had so many people approach me and tell me how excited they were. And like, people just, it's just such a amazing thing. People are so excited about me joining HWPO, and I am so excited to join. And so it's really been humbling, but just so appreciative, and it's just been wonderful. It's been a fun new adventure for me.
Yeah. So what are they? What do you program for them on the day one?
Well, let me pull up my app,
There
and
you
I'll
go.
for our HWPO training app, you just pull it up right here.
There you go.
Choose on Lyft. There's a little video of me that kind of talks about the day and the intention. And we had a 3-position snatch primer. So it's kind of like some technique work. And then snatches. We had 9 singles with a minute rest and some pulls, and then some back squat waves. A wave is where you go like up and then back down and up again.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's so
That's,
cool. Look, can you see? There's like
you can see
video.
a little bit. Yeah. You have like videos of how to do it and
Yeah,
demos in case
there's
somebody doesn't
videos
know.
on here of how look, there I
There you
am.
go.
I'm
There you
showing
go.
how to do a snatch. The
That's
app is the
awesome.
coolest thing ever. It's just like all right there, handy for you.
That's awesome. Start going a little bit back before that. How did you get involved with HWPO? Did Matt reach out to you? Have you been kind of
Well,
ruminating about this, or?
they I did not know it was a thing. Um when when they approached me, Matt and O'Keefe, I did not know, like, it's not something that I like interviewed for or knew was even happening. O'Keefe just called me and said, "Hey." And you know, I cried because it was very, like, it just, was so special to me. I felt so honored and grateful that out of anybody in the entire world that they chose me, and it was just an amazing thing. But I actually knew Sammy. Sammy had reached out to me a couple years ago, and I coached Sammy for like a year. She just
Okay.
really do an Olympic lifting program, and she wanted to do kind of a mock meet in her gym, like not competitive. And we just really bonded and we hit it off, and we got really close. And so she likes to take the credit for that. She'll say, "You're here because of me," and I love her, and so we have a great relationship. And I think that, and they got to see how I coached through that. And Matt and O'Keefe and Sammy, they've been following me for years and see what I've been doing. And they came to me and said, "Hey, we want you to be part of HWPO." And I just really I would never take a job, or I never take an athlete if I don't feel like I can be helpful. Like, if I feel like it would be doing the community a disservice or the athlete a disservice by me taking them on, or I feel someone else would be better, then, I definitely, there's been athletes where I'm like, I don't think I'm the best fit for you. Let's find someone who is. And it's the same with HWPO. I think, like, if I wasn't confident in that, but I was, and it was just I they're such great people, and it's such a great community, and everything that Matt has built with HWPO and his ethos is like something that I have stood for years, without calling it HWPO, but
Right.
this was such a perfect fit. And I mean, I just went in there and it's like I had always been there.
No, I mean, it definitely, they're building out something pretty special there.
I never felt like the new girl or anything. It was just like
Yeah.
an intimate family.
Did, did they have kind of a framework or a vision of where they wanted to take lift, or did they kind of leave that up to you?
Yeah, they definitely left it up to me. And, we kind of talked about it, like the best way to approach it. And, one of the main things was really like, do we add CrossFit into the program or not? Right.
Hmm.
And what I believed in and what I wanted is I said, look, so many of the HWPO community and Matt's followers, they're CrossFit. And if we don't put the CrossFit in there, they're going to go find it from somewhere, whether they follow a workout of the day somewhere or they do, pick and choose whatever their favorite CrossFitters they're following or
Right.
doing that day. And what happens when you mix two programs together, it very rarely works. And so it was really important to me to say, hey, I need to develop an Olympic lifting program for the masses, right? For a huge community, knowing overall kind of what CrossFitters generally need to work on, but also something that's going to be good for the more advanced athlete and getting their movement better and getting them more consistent and them stronger and like combine that in one. But we need the CrossFit and the conditioning to complement that, to make it one big, amazing program that we're just handing them like, look, you have it all right here. Because my concern was they were going to just pick other workouts and then it wasn't going to complement the lifting, or it was just going to not make it was going to make their lifting suffer. They were going to
Yeah.
go in recovered or not be able to move. And I think that there just isn't anything like that out there. And that I would trust, and I thought it was just going to be the best for the community. And I really believe in this program. And so, we did a lot of work to make sure that, longer conditioning days and whatever the Metcon is, that you're still getting better at CrossFit, but it's not interrupting your lifting workout. And the result was just amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was one thing that I thought was interesting is it's not just lift, right? You're combining that with some type of conditioning piece of it. Um, did you have a specific athlete or type of athlete in mind when you were programming this?
No, but yeah, yes and no. Because I've been around CrossFit since the very beginning, and I have coached a lot of CrossFit fitters in the lifts. And so
Including Jolie, right?
I did
The
coach
first champion?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very first CrossFit winner. She's amazing. We're still friends. I coach China Cho. We're still really good friends. So I just knowing and different athletes that I've helped over the years and knowing like where their weaknesses lie and stuff, I really wanted to be able to address those weaknesses for the more elite athlete or the more advanced one. But I also didn't want to make the program like unappealing or unattainable for the beginner. Right. And so I kind of had to find a nice balance. So it's going to get the elite better. Like, how do you make someone who's already good better? But also, how do you approach someone who's like beginner at lifting and get them better as well? Because it's not a personalized program, you have to kind of help the beginner and the
Right.
elite and everyone in between. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was thinking about. And, this first 12 weeks, of the program, um, we might have to adjust. I want to see what the community as a whole needs. And, is it because it is a very lifting based program. So the lifting is going to take 90 minutes to 2 hours. It's not just like one lift a day, right? It's an actual full lifting program
And
with
that's something that CrossFit generally is different, right? It's
right.
if you go to a gym, it's the first 20 minutes crammed in there, and
Yeah.
then you
So
move on to your workout.
exactly. So it is going to take some adjusting for people because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to spend 2 hours on my lifting. And, and another thing about a lifting program is you do the same thing every Monday for 6 weeks.
Mhm.
The percents change and the reps may change, but you have to build this foundation. So it's going to be a change for people, but I'm so excited. So what I'm saying is the first 12 weeks, I don't have any data yet. So I'm going to be able to use that first 12 weeks to get data. Like, okay, what does the community as a whole need? Where am I seeing the weaknesses here? What do I feel like they need more of or whatever? And then that's going to really help me. The data that I obtain over the next 12 weeks, and I'm going to be watching very closely, is going to help me then determine what direction we're going to go in the next 12 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So the first 12 weeks, we're starting at very low percents, really spending a lot of time focusing on movement and technique and positional strength and getting the legs stronger, learning how to use the legs. And so it's really a good foundational program, which is why it's going to be so good for the beginners or the elite. And no matter when anybody signs up, so let's say somebody doesn't sign up till December 1st, they still start at day one of that program. So they're still going to get the foundational part. That is my intention, to like get everyone on the solid foundation and then start building brick by brick over the next months and months.
Yeah. What if somebody came in, what kind of goals should they think about, or what goals do you want them to have entering into this?
To be the best snatcher and clean and jerker in the entire world. I think like what I've really been trying to stress is at least this first 2 months that I want the goal to be like consistency in your movement, like learn how to move better so that when the time comes that we're to those heavier percents, we've spent all of this time teaching our body how to move. I don't want to have a bunch of messy lifters, right? My goal is to teach people to move better, to be more consistent, meaning I don't want to have to, like, when we get to 90%, I don't want to miss it 8 times in order to make it. I want to be able to make it on the first one with confidence. And I want that because obviously better movement makes better lifters, but it also helps with longevity, injury prevention. And that is, my goal is to get everybody moving better, because that's going to make people a better CrossFitter. The better we move, the more explosive we get, the stronger we get, that's going to trickle into your CrossFit, right? And so that's really my goal, is to just have people being like, wow, I'm moving so much better, or my 80% has never felt so easy, or I have never hit 90% this many times in a month, things like that, because we're getting more confident and consistent. And also, I want everyone to get stronger. We're going to get strong.
Yeah, you're starting out with back squats day one, so that's definitely the focus.
And a hard wave of back squats. So we're squatting 3 days a week. We're doing lots of pulls and deadlifts. The deadlifts in my program are not like typical CrossFit deadlifts, what you would see like a more powerlifting deadlift. We do snatch and clean deadlifts. So we're doing lots of pulling, lots of positional work, lots of squats, because even though my focus is to get that movement better, I'm sneakily, is that a word?
It is now.
Those things I want people to get so strong and just to be like, wow, I feel so strong. Like my legs are so strong. I feel like the stronger your legs, the stronger your mind.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you talk about, you'll get data over this 12-week cycle. You think about Hinshaw, and he looks at how well people are able to sprint versus do long distance. You're going to be able to see the percentages between a snatch and a clean and jerk and their squat and deadlift.
Right.
And then be able to modify it sounds like on the second cycle.
I want to see like how much easier are these higher percents? How much easier is 85% like for you, or how better does it look? So I'm just really excited I have to get data. I don't have any data yet.
Yeah.
I have my knowledge and my years of experience and like what I think they need, but things are going to change up. So we're just going to continue to grow. And that's been a question, like, does this 12 weeks just repeat over and over again? It's like, no, I take all the data in and everything in, and then we just build the next 12 weeks off the first 12 weeks. And we just keep building and growing.
Yeah, if you watch Maddie Rogers and what she does, it's always changing. I mean, she's always and then she's always cursing you, it sounds like, too.
She always is. I just actually got a text from her. It's always changing, but it's always building. And, she is the most watched weightlifter in the world. So she gets a lot of eyes on her. So I will say there is a lot of stuff we do that I never allow on the internet. So people don't see, but it is, it is exciting because, obviously if you know Maddie, you've seen her really grow and transform over the last couple years. And when Maddie first came to me, we did that. We took a lot of steps back in order to take steps forward. And sometimes people come in and they're like, why do I have to work at low percents for 6 weeks or whatever? This is so boring. And, I want to lift heavy. People want to lift heavy. That's where it's fun. And that's what's cool on Instagram, right? To lift heavy lifts. But it's like, sometimes you have to take 5, even 10 steps back, and it's frustrating and it's hard work, but then you just start shooting up.
Mhm.
And it does pay off. The steps back that you take, it pays off in huge ways. You just have to be willing to go in every single day and focus on the little things every day, week after week. And then all of a sudden, all those little things become really big things. And you're like, this is why I've been doing this every week.
Right. No, absolutely. You said you were heading over to Vermont tomorrow. Going to go meet up with the team.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy month for me. I leave early tomorrow morning to meet with the team. All of our athletes are going to be there. So we're having a training week. So I get to be in person with Mal Katra and Jason, who I'm coaching right now. And then I'm home for a couple weeks. And then I leave to Bogota, Colombia for World Championships.
Always busy.
World Championships are our very first qualifier for the Olympics. So it's an exciting one to end the year on.
Yeah. How's it been working with Mal and Katra and Jason?
Oh my gosh, I just love it. I'm bonding with them, and we have such a good relationship, and I talk to them every day, all day, and we're doing lots of lifting and mental work. And, I love being back in the CrossFit space again. And I just couldn't have asked for better athletes. I'm just so grateful that the athletes that we have are just so amazing. And at camp, I'm going to be able to work with Amanda for the first time. Sam isn't going to be there, but I'm looking forward to working with him. And it's just, I couldn't have asked for better athletes to be working with. And it's so rewarding, and watching them grow and learn. And I'm so proud. And I cried like 4 times at Rogue. Yeah, they're great kids, and I'm having so much fun with them.
Yeah, I mean, you think about they're all Games veterans, but I'm sure they probably haven't had this level of Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah, and I have Mal and Jason 5 days a week. So and then Katra and I have 3 days a week. She's primarily with Rob, who does our HWPO Strong. And it was a change for sure, but look, if you want to get better and you want to, become more elite than you are, and you have to be willing to put in the work, and it's work. I am a hard coach, lots of tough love. It is hard work. But they are loving it, and they're putting in the work, and I just can't wait to see how it pays off over the next year.
Yeah. Have you seen them already start to make some improvements on that?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, so much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still stuff to work on, but we have 9 more months till the games. And, but yeah, I mean, I, of course, want to shout it from the rooftops and share everything they do and every little thing that makes me proud. But, we have to train like ninjas and keep that stuff secret.
Yeah. Well, and sign up for HWPO lift.
Yeah, or sign up for HWPO lift and get a little fraction of what they do.
Yeah, and I think it's too late for some to get the weekly calls, but you still do a monthly call with everybody that's part of it. What is that going to entail?
Yeah, so if you signed up before yesterday, you unlocked weekly calls for the first 12 weeks of the program. And then after that, then you're going to get access to monthly calls. So basically, like the call I did this morning, I did my first one today, and it's live. But people can watch it back if they're on different time zones, and people are able to submit questions. So we answered lots of questions, like just about warmups and equipment, and different just basic questions like that. How to approach like things like, can I touch and go? Oh, no, we do not touch and go and lift. And then I kind of talk about the week. Like, this is our intention for the week. This is what I want to focus on. This is how I want to approach each day. And it's just kind of little tidbits. And I think each week I'm going to try to like give like a little mental tidbit, or like when we get into monthly calls, right? Like a little, something that's going to help them approach their days, or maybe setting goals, when we get to certain weeks that have heavier complexes or whatever. And that's kind of what I'm going to do. It's kind of just be like, this week, this is what I want to focus on, or this week, really try to do this, and just really give them like tips and tricks to kind of help them through the week, but also to kind of know what our intention is that week.
Mm-hmm. How does a warm up, just generally speaking, how do you think of a warm up differing from a CrossFit warm up?
So that's funny, because we actually had gotten a couple of the questions, because HWPO Lift does not have a warm up in there, and the other HWPO programs do have a warm up, but it's different from your like traditional CrossFit class where you go in and warm up as a group, or a CrossFit workout where you may have a warm up. Mm-hmm. And we do have a Go WOD lifting protocol. So we are doing Go WOD for pre-WOD that you could do, and also something as a cool down. But the reason I don't program warm-ups is because everyone has different ailments, I guess you can say. And when it comes to lifting, you really need to warm up in a way that sets you up for success. Some people, it takes 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Some people it takes 40 minutes. And anytime I've done warm-ups, people typically either don't do them, or it just doesn't work to get them in a shape where they can lift their best. Some people have hip issues, or their hips are tighter, and some people's shoulders are tighter, and some people need a little bit of more of a bike warm-up because their joints hurt. Some people are older, like maybe master's levels lifters, and they have achy joints, so they need to do something different. And some people maybe need more mobility. And so what I like to say is kind of spend the first week or two of lift to figure out what your body needs to perform its best, and practice a warm up. Maybe you spend extra time stretching your lats or your shoulders or your hips, and then, you do some PVC pipe stuff, and find something that when you start training, you're like, wow, I feel really good today. And then write that down, and then develop your own little warm up protocol that makes you feel your best when you lift. And it's going to change. Some days I have to go in, and I'm old now, and I am the worst warming up, but some days my hips are just so tight, and I have to spend an extra 10 minutes on my hips. So, it's going to change based on how you feel that day, but I just don't think that assigning warm-ups for lifters is effective. I really feel like taking what you works for your body and what you specifically need to move at its best with a barbell is going to be so much more beneficial. And combine that with the Go WOD, and you're going to feel like $1 million instead of $1 waiting for change, right?
After squatting 3 days a week, they're going to realize their legs are a little bit more sore than they probably have been in a while.
Exactly. They're going to feel a lot more sore. And gosh, this week everyone's going to be really sore. So, you never know what you're going to need. So that's why I don't like to do, even when I've done lifting classes in CrossFit, I'm always like, okay, you guys take like 10, or when I do camps or we do seminars, we're like, hey guys, take like 15 to 20 minutes to warm up, do everything you need to do to get your body feeling good before we get on the barbell. And then of course you want to, if you're starting the day with snatches, you don't just want to put your first working set on. You want to snatch the barbell a couple times and get things loosened up. And I always say the biggest mistake people make when they're warming up their lifts is they'll like put their first warm-up weight on, and they feel kind of crickety like the Tin Man, and they're not moving well. Well, they put their next warm-up on weight anyway. So like, well, I'm just going to keep going. It's going to start feeling better. Yeah. It's like, if it didn't feel better at 35 kilos, it's probably not going to feel great at 55 kilos. So
it just pushes you down a little bit lower.
Yeah. It's okay to stay at that first warm-up set, that whatever your first warm-up weight is, 2 to 3 times, and really feel the movement before starting to move up to your working sets.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm pumped to see how it kind of progresses, and see the excitement around putting lift up front for CrossFitters. It's a interesting and new program.
And Matt has said this for his whole career. Like, you guys have to lift more. People need to lift more. You have to focus on your movement. You have to focus on technique and spending time at lighter percents. And, you know, he says like that gave him such a foundation and continued to give him a foundation his entire career. And so it's really cool that he wanted to give that to his HWPO community, you know, that he was like, this is what the whole CrossFit community
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah, and just moving well is going to help translate to everything, whether it's a log lift at Rogue or you know any of the
Yeah,
other movements. You
exactly.
squat well and go overhead well, it's going to help.
Right. And like we were talking, Matt and I did a podcast, it's on YouTube, but he was saying that like he felt that it helped his gymnastics better. Like his hips were more explosive, so he could do muscle ups better, or he knew how to keep his arms relaxed. And so he was a more efficient, you know, muscle upper or whatever the situation. So it really kind of trickles into everything.
We got Alyssa here. She's planning on starting the program in a couple months.
Yay!
So
I can't wait to have you in a couple months.
I think she does the training program if I
Okay.
remember seeing that seeing that right. But yeah, you know definitely has a lot of talk out there, and I've not seen anything negative about it. I mean, I don't think anybody
Okay.
can really complain about adding to another expert out there to help with CrossFit and weightlifting. So
Yeah, the response has been so amazing. I feel so like welcomed, and it just fills my heart.
yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate it. I'll let you get back to your day and hopefully get packed up for your trip in the morning and
Thank
see
you
how
so
see.
much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, and good luck with Lyft and going down to Bogota later and
And
enjoy
all
it.
my adventures.
Absolutely.